Spoke to serial investor and former White House communications director Anthony Scaramucci about how the pandemic has changed the way he invests.
Well, let me just point out that I'm a skeptic of most things. And so when I returned to my organization after my White House firing, I spent about 2.5 years researching cryptocurrency. And so it's not like I just, waded in blindly. I think I have a much better understanding, or our team does, of how it's operating, why it should be heading into a more mature phase. And I do think it will evolve into an acceptable asset class. There's a lot of different reasons for that. I don't want to bore everybody, but if you really study the blockchain, you more or less have this ledger now that's almost impossible to break. And that will give people a feeling that there's a store of value in the internet for things like Bitcoin and possibly a coin like Ethereum. So for me, it's more portable than gold. And as it becomes more acceptable, it's an interesting inflation hedge. And that's not to say I would put my entire life savings into it, but I could see it as a replacement for gold. Our firm in 2009, we had about a 10% position in gold. I'm not saying we would get that high on something like Bitcoin, but there's no reason why we couldn't have Bitcoin in the mix while the Fed and other central banks are doing what they're doing with fiat currency.
So it's interesting because investors often think about gold as being a safe haven for their savings, and Bitcoin is just so volatile, isn't it? But talking about inflationary pressures, let's talk politics. What do you think are Donald Trump's real motives right now?
Well, look, he's looking to raise money. I mean, it's all about a grift, and it's a con on the people that are supporting him. And so this nonsense that there was a fraudulent election has been rebuked by the Attorney General. It's been rebuked by the Department of Homeland Security. And if you really understand the election process, you take the time to understand it, you can't hack paper ballots. It's just not hackable. Is there situations where there could have been fraud or some misrepresentation? Certainly. I mean, that would happen in any election, like it happens on Wall Street, like it happens in the media, like it happens in medicine. But we're talking about very minute amounts of that, nothing consequential. The guy got shellacked. I mean, he lost by 7 million votes. 5 states flipped as a result of his incompetence. And so this is just part of a con. This is part of that perpetuation. I will point out, if he's running in 2024, he's never gotten more than 47% of the vote in the 2 elections that he's run in. And so he would be a very poor choice for the Republicans as their nominee. I don't understand why my fellow Republicans are so afraid of him. That's the only thing I don't get. I mean, the demagoguery and the bullying and the over-blustering nonsense that comes from Mr. Trump. I don't know where these guys grew up, but, they shouldn't be taking that guff from him the way they are.
We'll have more on the Web Summit coming up in tomorrow's show.